Hi, good evening. Welcome. We are here to talk about the Next Mile per Year program. My name is Amanda Hartwick. I'm the Special Projects Coordinator for the city. Alongside myself, I've got Jesus, Jacob, and Jody with our Public Works Department. They're going to take you through a brief presentation about the project. And along the way, if you have questions, there is a chat feature. You can send those questions to me through the chat, and we'll hold them till the end of the presentation. You're also welcome. Right now, all of you are muted, but you're welcome to raise your hand. And at the end of the presentation, we can unmute you and you can engage with the panelists that way if you've got a question you want to ask. So with those housekeeping items out of the way, I'm going to sign off and hand it over to Jacob to begin the presentation, and I'll see you at the end for questions.
Thanks, Amanda. I appreciate everyone joining us this afternoon, and we're excited about this project, getting this going. It's going to be it's very impactful to you, and we realize that. So we wanted to take an opportunity to explain the project, give you as much information as we can, and have an opportunity to answer any questions that you might have as well. This is new or another round, if you will. We tried to do this project a couple of years ago and had a contractor lined up, was doing other work in the area. That project got canceled early before we could get to your alley. So what we're going to do now is pick up where we left off. The big change is that we've changed some things up operationally, and rather than hiring a contractor for this work, it'll be city forces, city employees doing the work. And we think that will work out really well in terms of from a customer service perspective and in terms of responsiveness. And so we're looking forward to it. We will be replacing the water main, the sanitary sewer main, and the pavement in your alley that's highlighted in orange there. The reason for this is those water and sewer mains are about 80 years old, and they are definitely in need of replacement. So if you'll recall, I'm sure you've seen the water main breaks and things that you've had to live through over recent years, and all of that is an indication that those mains are at, if not exceeded, their useful life and need to be replaced. So, and the new pavement going in on the top will also help with drainage and that sort of thing. You'll notice that this project also includes that short north-south piece, the alley behind the homes on Preston there. So that will be a part of this work as well. The most impactful part for residents, especially anyone with rear entry drives, is that in order to do this work, the alley will be completely closed for the duration of the project. So that means that you will not have any access to your alley really from the time we start until we finish. So for the bulk of this project, the alley pavement will be completely removed. That's one of the reasons we have to leave it closed. The other is we need to keep water service. We want to make sure that you have generally uninterrupted water service. So in order to replace the water main that's there and keep you in service, we will lay temporary water lines along the ground on each side of the alley. And what that's good from the standpoint that it keeps everybody's water in service while we're doing the construction. The downside to that is it renders rear entry driveways basically inoperable or unusable. So any vehicles that you have and will need to use on a daily basis will need to be out of your garage if you've got a rear entry garage and moved around to either a driveway in front or parked on the street. I talked about the water service. You'll experience a few brief water service interruptions a few different times through the project, but it's usually 15 or 20 minutes that we'll do a door notice, a door hanger, and notify you that, hey, on this date, morning of whatever day, you'll experience a brief water service interruption. some of the more involved work, that water service interruption might last a couple of hours, but again, you'll be notified in advance of when that's going to happen. Another change from your normal daily activity is sanitation collection. Your schedule won't change. All your trash days, recycling days, all of that stays the same, but the location will change. So instead of putting trash and recycling and yard waste clippings in the alley, you'll need to place those in front of your home at the curb. Put them out there by 7 a.m. on your regularly scheduled collection day. To assist with that, the city will provide you with 2 rolling cart trash cans, 2 for each residence, and it's just a little easier to move, get that trash from the house to the curb and back. And those have a lid affixed to them, so you're not having to keep up with a separate lid and that sort of thing. The typical working hours during this project are going to be 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. If we have to work on a Saturday, that work would be, we'll start a little later, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturdays. And again, that won't be every Saturday. That's only for specific circumstances. For example, if we experience really wet weather like we've had the last couple of weeks, and it finally dries out and we get some good weather, then we may want to take advantage of some Saturdays to make up lost ground. But generally, the work will be Monday through Friday. Another thing that's really helpful to us and speeds the project up, which is good for you as well, is if you can avoid the use of your sprinkler system, at least the zones that are near the alley, turn those off during the project. That water runoff gets into the work site and really can delay the progress. So your help there is greatly appreciated. Also, if there are any, you'll see some wooden stakes and markers and things in and around the alley. You can leave those alone, not disturb those. That helps us a lot. Those get pulled up or moved or bent, and that adds to delays as well while those are reset. We recognize how inconvenient this process is to you and your neighbors. If we've been doing this for about programs like this, replacing our water and sewer mains for about the last 35 years, we've made some improvements and tweaked some things in this process. If there was a better, more convenient way, we would absolutely do it. But the bad news is we know it will be impactful and inconvenient to you. The good news is it's something we only have to do once about every 80 years. So it's well worth it, but it is inconvenient in the process, and we appreciate your patience and understanding. One of the things that we will do on the parking front is we will send notices out to your neighbors across the street and ask them to help us, to coordinate, to let them know that you aren't going to have use of your alley and will need to park out front. So we ask them to please avoid parking in front wherever possible, so to just minimize some of that congestion. And we found that just making that ask, making people aware of what you're going through, they're usually pretty responsive and are willing to help out. So also, we will stay in touch with you, and we want you to stay in touch with us if something happens, if you're seeing problems or running into issues. Let us know as soon as possible. We want to work with you and minimize those issues wherever we can. To that end, here's some contact information. Jesus Badillo Ayala is our utility construction superintendent. He's on with us today. Jesus will be primarily responsible for the crews and the successful completion of this project. And I've got his phone number and down below also his email there. See my phone number, Katie Barron, our city engineer, and Jody Ladot, our operations manager. Reach out to any of us with any issues. Like I said, we'll try to answer questions or To the extent that we can change or adjust something to better meet your needs, we're happy to look at that and do that wherever we can. Note at the bottom of the screen there, if you could send an email to Jesus at that email address, providing your name and address, then we can begin to build an email database, if you will, and that's a great way for us to get updates out in a quick, timely fashion. You know, we'll often utilize the door hangers, you know, physical note hanging on the door. Sometimes the wind blows those away, or we hang it on the front door and people, you know, it's not the door people usually come and go through, or one issue or another. So the emails are a great way to do that. Jesus will be developing monthly project updates, and we can email those to you. We can also post those on the website. So we'll keep things like the schedule updates and any major events or milestones along the project. We'll be sure to notify you of that. Speaking of the project schedule, this is not a fast endeavor. So here's the schedule that we are looking at. We're looking to start in about 2 weeks. June 21st is what we're looking at to get this project started. And right now, we're not anticipating completion until early February. So it's a long process to dig up all of those utilities and replace them while still keeping you in service throughout that process as well. So we will do everything we can to speed this along, and if we can do it faster, we absolutely will. But we wanted to give you as realistic a picture as we could, so that you know what to expect. That's the overview of the project, and I appreciate your time. And if you've got any questions or concerns, or we can clarify anything, I'm happy to do so.
Thanks, Jacob. I haven't had any questions come in through the chat just yet. If anybody's got a question, again, you can use the chat feature, or if you just raise your hand, I will know that you want to engage and I will unmute you. So we'll give it a minute to see if anybody has any questions. And one thing I forgot to mention at the beginning is that this is being automatically recorded. So we'll have video. If you have a neighbor that missed the meeting tonight, we'll have the video available to share. So we can definitely get them up to speed with the link to the video.
Also, if you, after you've had a little time to think about it, or you go back and watch this presentation again, if you have questions, again, reach out to us. It's not as if this is your only chance right now. If you think a project or a question about the project, you know, tomorrow or in the weeks to come, just reach out. We're happy to answer.
I still don't have any questions through the chat, and it looks like there are no hands raised right now. I'll give it just 30 more seconds and then we'll call it. And like Jacob said, you can just follow up with us afterwards and we can answer those questions offline. Well, hearing no questions, I think it's safe to go ahead and wrap up. Just appreciate your time. Thank you, Jesus, Jacob, and Jody for the presentation tonight, and appreciate the residents who were able to join us. Again, if you've got someone that wasn't able to join us, we will have video available we can share with them. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.